Hi, I'm Teresa. Welcome to our channel, Goa Awareness Network. In today's episode, I would like to discuss about a topic that impacts most of us, especially those who live in cooperative societies, just like me. I would like to share about the various challenges that I have faced ever since I've moved into my apartment, and mainly due to the mismanagement of the managing board. So, before we begin, I would like to take a moment to introduce some key persons who have made this video possible with their expertise, with their knowledge, and with their good wishes. So, I would like to begin by introducing my dear friend Kiran. Kiran is an entrepreneur, a go getter, but most importantly, she's a very close friend of mine. And it's because of her encouragement, her energy, that motivated me to make this video possible. Thank you very much, Kiran.
Hi, this is Kiran Siddhapura. I'm wishing Miss Teresa good luck for her new channel, Goa Awareness Network. I'm sure this channel is going to help many of us. All the best.
Next, I would like to introduce to you Pius and Daryl, my mentors. Daryl is an expert in handling the affairs of a cooperative society. His knowledge, his guidance, his practical experiences are invaluable. Whereas Pius Pinto is my brother. He's the one instrumental in getting me motivated to fight for my rights. So please meet Pius and Daryl.
Hello, good day everyone. My name is Daryl Prayara. I'm from Mumbai and I'm also a Goan. And I have a little bit of advice to all you Goans out there. All of y'all who have invested in a cooperative housing society really truly need to get yourself educated on the bylaws of the society. If you do not do that, then it is a gross error on your part. There will be optimum amount of mistakes that are made in managing the society. So the first thing you need to do is get the bylaws and read it. This is Mr. Pius. He has a few words to share with you also.
Hi, I'm Pius Pinto, based in Mumbai. At the moment, I'm a retiree. I'm handling mostly all the society matters, helping Mr. Darrell in whatever way possible. Teresa Pinto is my younger sister. She is highly motivated, and we always advise her whenever she needs something regarding the society matters. And we wish her all the best in all her future endeavors.
So now we'll sign off and say bye. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Hi, I would like to introduce my dear friend Lino Fernandez and his beautiful wife Eugenia.
Hi.
Hello to all members and flat owners. I encourage everyone to obtain a copy of society's bylaws to better understand your rights and responsibilities. It is very important to have mutual support and cooperation among residents. Together we can ensure the smooth and efficient functioning of our society. Thank you.
Thank you, Lino. Lino actually is also a secretary of a cooperative society in our location in Socorro itself. So Lino has been very, very supportive in all the struggles that I've been facing in the society to get my share certificate, whether it's to get my membership or to get my audited accounts, or even for the simple things that is needed. So thank you so much, Lino and Eugenia.
God bless.
Thank you so much, Kiran, Pius, Daryl, Lino, and Eugenia. It was your encouragement actually that inspired me to make this video. And so here we go. Well, we purchased this apartment here in North Goa in a nice locality about over a year ago. And it was a nice purchase. We are happy with the purchase. And of course, initially, the first few weeks, it was a little bit hectic because we had to run around, get the documentation done. And finally, it was time to settle down, enjoy yourself. Well, that's when we started to actually look around our surroundings because I have two dogs and we walk them every morning, evening in our compound. So as we used to pass by, we used to see very unkempt surroundings like the leaves, it was summer and all the leaves dried up. So we decided, okay, probably people are busy. And since we are working from home, we decided let's cooperate because we're living in a cooperative society. So let's, cooperate with each other and add some value since we have the time. So I started to, because the only person who I was introduced to was the maintenance supervisor. In fact, he was the one who messaged me to introduce himself, and he said that, "See, guys, you all are the new residents." He sent a notice saying that the previous owners had paid the maintenance charges until March, and then from April onwards, there's a maintenance hike, and I would be paying the higher charges. So I was like, okay. So there was a maintenance supervisor, there was a WhatsApp group. And since I was not formally introduced to anyone, because it was the norm, I guess at that time, everything was done verbally. So there was no proper coordination, no communication whatsoever. So, anyways, I contacted the maintenance supervisor and I told him, started to ask certain questions, of course, about the surroundings and about the maintenance. And at the same time, simultaneously, my brother was asking, he kept asking if I got my share certificate. So, it's a very important document, as we all know. So I told the maintenance supervisor because I was noticing that on the WhatsApp group, if we had any queries or whatever, we had to address it out there. So I did that. And so the maintenance supervisor, then I just kept asking him. I said, because I was not getting proper answers from him. And so I told him, whom do I speak with? Because there must be somebody who's in charge, right? So can you put me in touch with someone? And so what he does is he calls a one-on-one meeting. So this is when I insisted with the maintenance supervisor and I told him I really need to speak with someone. So he arranged a one-on-one meeting and he said, okay, the board has agreed to meet you. So we went to I was called to the gym room where they meet normally. And the secretary was there and the chairwoman and her husband, who was also a board member. And there was a maintenance supervisor. So I put forth all my queries, my concerns to them. So I asked them about the share certificates. And the secretary said, there's no share certificate. And I asked him why. And he's like, because this is a maintenance society. It's not a housing society or something like that. Some vague answers. And I told him, well, what about the auditing? And they were like, we don't have any audit reports. And they were like, when the society was registered and the new the managing committee was elected, the builder apparently had not given them the audit report. And in fact, they even went further to say that the builder had collected 1.4 lakhs per flat, and there are 40 flats here, so it was almost 54 to 55 lakhs. And he had only given not even like a proper accounts report, and he had just handed over part of the money. So I was like, and what are you all doing about it? And he was like, we are trying to get it in tranches, but all vague answers. Nothing was concrete. Nothing was. There were no sensible responses. to any of my questions. And then at that point of time, because I had noticed the maintenance supervisor had mentioned some waterproofing was done. So I told him, I was asking them, I said, this waterproofing that is being done, is there any warranty for it? Because the supervisor said that there's a 3 years warranty, but it's a verbal warranty. And they were like, yeah, it's okay because, you know, it's a 3 year warranty, but that's fine. Verbal warranty is okay. And I told them, no, it's not okay. I said, it's not okay. And I was questioning them about my membership. But at that point of time, I think that one on one meeting was like just a waste of time. So I was like, all right, can you please give me a copy of the bylaws? And they looked at me like I was asking for their will or something. I said, you all must be having some bylaws, right? And again, it was like for everything, they just brushed it aside. That's when I realized they don't even have a copy of the bylaws, because I know for a fact that if it is a cooperative society, whether it's maintenance society, whether it's a housing society, but as long as it's a cooperative society, you have a set of bylaws and you follow the bylaws. And they said that, well, they don't have, or they just gave me some vague answers. And I realized something is seriously wrong. Something is definitely wrong. So I went back and I saw some, again, exchanges. And just before that, what it so happened, just a day before this one-on-one meeting that we had, again, I was asking some questions on the WhatsApp group when I get a call from one of the neighbors who live above our flat. I mean, they were a real godsend, because they called me and they introduced themselves and they said, they have been noticing that I've been trying to get some answers. And that's when they said that you're not going to get any answers if you're going to ask about audit reports or if you're going to ask about membership. And I said, why? And they said, that's the norm. Nobody's supposed to ask questions. It was like a strange thing. I mean, it was a strange feeling altogether. I did not know what was happening, but I was determined to find out, because I have invested money, a good amount of money for this apartment, and I'm not just going to let somebody say that there are no rules to be followed. So after the one-on-one meeting, I came and I called the neighbors. I spoke to them over the phone and I briefed them about my meeting. And I told them that they were right, 100%, because I received, all my queries were brushed aside and there were no bylaws whatsoever. So I told them that, well, because I cannot keep quiet, I have invested money on this property and I need proper accountability. So what I did was, the next day I messaged the maintenance supervisor and I told him that I need my membership, please. I need to be a member and tell me what needs to be done, and it needs to be done ASAP. So he came back to me. I think he discussed with the board. He comes back to me and he says, okay, you need to pay 5,000 rupees and give me a sale deed copy of your sale deed. So I did that. I gave him the 5,000 copy of the sale deed. But I told him I need the bylaws. I insisted. I kept insisting. So upon my insistence, then they brought a copy of the bylaws, which they handed over to me. And that's when I saw that they did not even have the original bylaws. Because the copy of the bylaws, what they had given me, had the RTI stamp on it. So when I checked, I went through certain points in the bylaws and it was mentioned that membership entry for membership only would cost 10 rupees. So I just very curious as to know why would they charge me 5,000 rupees if it's 10 rupees. Maybe they wanted to discourage me from, insisting on becoming a member or whatever. So what I did was I requested, before that, I requested the neighbor, I said, please, can you come along with me to the assistant registrar office because we need answers. And that's the only place where we will get confirmation. So along with Lino and my neighbor, we went there. We went to the assistant registrar office to find out stuff, and that's where they confirmed that yes, we are entitled to share certificate even if we are a maintenance society. And of course, even they were surprised that auditing was not done. So I thought maybe the rules in Goa are different, so they said no, auditing needs to be done. In fact, they said that one of the staff said he showed a notice which was there on their table, and they said this notice was supposed to go out to you. This was in the month of July. So I said, what notice? And they said that your society has not, these notices are going out to all the societies who have not filed their tax returns, not submitted audited reports. So I went through the notice. I asked them for a copy because it was not signed, it was just a format. So they willingly gave it to me. I came back home and I sent a message to the chairperson directly on the WhatsApp group, and I told her, look, I need to have a meeting. We need to have a meeting, a general meeting, and I want to discuss these points, the audit, the defaulters list, the membership, accounts, etc. So the next day, on the 17th of July, the maintenance supervisor sent a notice for a meeting to be held, a GBM to be held on the 20th of July, 20 July 2025. The reason why I'm mentioning this date is because this date is very relevant, and I will explain why. So I will come to the point of the 20th of July 2025 later, because that is a very relevant date. So it so happened that so we had this meeting on the 20th of July. I attended. They just wanted to tell us, during the one-on-one meeting, the secretary said, calling meetings is of no use in the society. It's a waste of time. None of the residents are bothered. No one will attend. So just to prove a point, there were just 4 or 5 chairs. Maybe they were right because, yes, not many attended. And they were just like the neighbor, me, 1 or 2, maybe another member, or I think there were just 1 or 2 members, that's it, and few flat owners who attended. And well, the chairperson was there, and at that meeting I met the treasurer. The treasurer was sitting right beside me. So I had the notice which I had got from the assistant registrar's office. So I passed it around, passed it to the treasurer. They all read it. In that, it was very clearly mentioned that if the tax returns are not filed by the end of March 2025, then you all will be penalized. And the same thing was for non-conducting of AGM and so on. There were 2-3 clauses which were very important, for which the notice was being issued to many cooperative societies, including us. So I passed the notice around. They just, as usual, read it, brush it aside. So in July 2025, they had already seen that notice. Now, whether they actually got the original copy from the registrar office or not, I do not know that, but they have definitely seen the notice, the format. And during that meeting again, I was asking questions about the waterproofing, about the audit reports, about my membership, because the membership money was already taken in June, and here we were already in July. So because I was following up, and nobody else was talking. It was me asking questions. The chairwoman, she was really annoyed, and she makes a statement that we are going to have an AGM soon, but during that AGM, only members will be allowed to speak. It was a direct hint. The comment was directly addressed to me because she knew that I was the only person who was asking questions, and they hated it. They hated the fact that I was asking questions. Well, we finished the meeting, and again, after the meeting, I told the secretary, "What about the membership?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's in process. It's happening." That's it. We went back, and that was the end. I realized later I had made enemies because that was the day it was declared that nobody, the whole managing committee, would boycott me, or rather, in the sense, ignore me, just as they did the neighbor, because he had told me that when he was asking questions initially, they started to ignore him as well. So that was the norm. You ask questions, you'll be ignored. You cannot ask questions, not in this society, not to this board, not to the managing board of our society. But of course, I'm not somebody who's going to back down. I persisted, I insisted, I went again and again to the registrar office when I was not getting any answers. I kept messaging on the WhatsApp group. I became a very active, annoying member on the WhatsApp group who kept asking questions about the audit, about the defaulters, about the notice. I again scanned the notice, I put it on the group, and I said, "Hey, I have already told y'all, I've already shared this with y'all." The whole idea for me to keep the conversation going on the WhatsApp group was because I felt at least those who had not attended the meeting would know what is happening. But here I realized in our society, it's a very big disappointment. The residents do not care. It's basically, sometimes you cannot even blame the board for being irresponsible because nobody has held them accountable. Nobody. They have been allowed to do whatever they feel like. No questions asked. It's okay, you can do whatever you want. They have raised the maintenance cost of the flat members, so now we are paying 4,600, and 4,600, but a complete mess. The compound is in a mess, the painting all gone, the gutters, the sewage overflowing, stench everywhere, but no questions asked. I don't know. Because the residents themselves are a big disappointment, at least in this society. Maybe it's the same somewhere else. Because later I found out that many have invested in their property and they are staying abroad, or they have leased it out. But even then, even if you have leased out your property, you are entitled to ask questions. And if there's someone who's bringing to your attention that there is something going on which is a cause for concern and needs to be addressed, then I mean, people should be responsible enough to pay attention. But here, it was nothing. But then I was determined. I was determined that I'm going to fight for my rights. Fortunately, as I said before, it was a blessing that the neighbor, he was the only member, and luckily he was a member, registered member. And he was cooperating. He was he's still very, very supportive. And that's how we continued to fight for our rights. So after all this, since there was no response from the managing committee, we decided my trips to the registrar office became very frequent because now I was really concerned. I needed the share certificate, and I knew there was something really wrong because in the meantime, I was, whenever I went to the office, I would ask for some document, and like, did you all have this meeting, or when are we having the AGM, or whatever. And the maintenance supervisor very calmly, he would just give his normal excuses and say, I don't know, ma'am, you have to ask the board. But the board, of course, would never respond. I mean, so we were just going round and round in circles. It was getting very frustrating day by day. When it came time to pay the maintenance, of course, the maintenance supervisor was very prompt in reminding that the maintenance is due. But other than that, nothing. Things were getting from bad to worse in the society. Everything was like a mess. The tiles were broken in the driveway, and the gutters were overflowing. In fact, even the panchayat office was notified. Somebody had gone and complained because the sewage water was being let out into the surrounding, into the neighboring property, because nobody was staying there. And so the sewage water was actually being drained out into the other property, and there was a stink everywhere. So now I just decided, like, I just went to the registrar office. There was an officer there, and I told him, I have exhausted all the resources. I have tried to get in touch with the board. I have tried, even like sending messages on WhatsApp, but having no response at all. I don't know what is happening with our money. I don't know what's happening with the audit reports. The defaulters, they are not paying, but nobody's questioning them. And even the membership, nothing. So then finally the officer, he said, like, he put me in touch with a gentleman who used to be an ex-reconciliator. So that was the best thing that happened to us, to me, to the member, to my neighbor, who is a member. As I mentioned, he was the only supportive person in this entire, experience of mine. So the only person responsible and accountable, because even he was quite frustrated about the whole situation. So we went to the person, the ex-reconciliator. Well, he has requested to keep him anonymous for the moment, so I will not name him. But so we explained everything to him. He is extremely knowledgeable. He knows the bylaws of the cooperative societies, whether Maharashtra, whether Goa. He has experience with both, and it was a big relief talking to him. And I shared all my concerns with him. I said, this is what's happening, and we do not know what to do. So he was asking, was the AGM ever conducted after that? I said, no, the AGM was never conducted. After the GBM, there was one SGM just to announce one of the board members decided to tender his resignation. So that was all. And nothing else. So he said, okay, and we were already in September. So this whole thing began in May 2025, and we were already in September. So he said, okay, no problem. Let's wait until the end of the month, and then we will talk again. So at the end of the month, in the first week of October, I went to him and I told him that, well, there was no AGM conducted. And so he said, okay, no problem. He said, because then that's when he explained. He said, because that was also in the notice which I had shared with the board when they had the GBM on the 20th of July, and which everybody had ignored as usual. So he said, this is a very sensitive law. The clause, is very sensitive, because as per section 61, section 67, every cooperative society, it is mandatory for every cooperative society to file their tax returns, to conduct AGM, and to submit the audited report. And since September had passed by and nothing was done, so he helped us to file a case. And of course, only the member could file a case, not me, because I'm a flat owner. So, with the help of the member, we filed a case, and that's when the managing board was issued a show cause notice. And under section 61 and 67A, the show cause notice was issued because now they had to inform the registrar why they had not followed protocol, and the punishment would be disqualification of the board. So that's when they said that the board has to be the board will be disqualified. They were given a time of 2 to 3 weeks to produce their reasons as to why there was a lapse in following the protocol required by any cooperative society. But that was not all. Our troubles actually began there. More troubles, you can say, because after the show cause notice was issued, we thought, okay, at least now they will come forward, the board will come forward and try to at least rectify the situation so that all of us will get some relief. But that was not so. They got even more arrogant and more resistant. They started to resist us even more, and of course they started to do whatever they could to cover up their mistakes. The audit reports were not submitted, and they themselves had mentioned it, because the society was registered in 2023, and the handover was given to the new elected board in Jan 2024. So even in March 2024, they had not submitted the audited report. So it was March 2024 and March 2025. And they were just sitting tight, doing nothing. It was then they manipulated. They, instead of accepting that they have made a mistake, they manipulated even the AGM record. Because this is what I had mentioned earlier, that the AGM of which was held on 20 July, ever since I insisted on having a GBM in July, and that GBM which they had on 20th July, the managing committee, they used that, they redid that report and they submitted it to the registrar, presenting it as AGM. That was sheer manipulation. And then later on, we found out they had manipulated even the AGM of 2024. It so happened that when my questioning had just started, in those days, whenever I went to the office, I used to take some documents and make, whichever documents I would see, I would take photos of it. So I had those records. Later on, the board made sure that I did not get any documents whatsoever. And of course, they had the excuse that I was a flat member. I was not, I was a flat owner. I was not a member. So they had that excuse not to give me any documents. But my neighbor, he is a very meticulous person, and by God's grace, he had all the records right from the time the society was registered. He had all the records with him, and he had even checked the register, which was because there was no accounting done. So the maintenance supervisor was the one handling the accounts. They were all, scratched out marks, and it was a mess. I mean, it was a disaster. Our accounts register was sheer disaster. But we had those records. And we presented it to the registrar office, and we told them that they are manipulating. I mean, showing a GBM and presenting it as AGM is manipulation. And even the accounts, they do not have audited accounts, because in our records that we had obtained, we even had the letter from the builder mentioning that he did not have audited accounts. He did not have audited reports. And luckily, we had that letter from the builder as well. So, anyways, we have been given Tariq pe Tariq, because since October, since the show cause notice was issued, I think we had 7 hearings. Uh, no decision happened until now. The assistant registrar did try to convince us, to sort it out amicably, and the board hired an advocate. I don't know why. If their accounts were clean, they did not need an advocate. So they hired an advocate to represent them, and the advocate wanted to convince the member to meet them and to have one-on-one meeting, which again he said no, I'm not having any one-on-one meeting with him. And we informed the registrar that if at all they want to meet amicably, then it has to be in the presence of the entire society, because we will show them the records that we have. The board can clarify whatever, and let's sort it out. I mean, that's the only way. We are not here, we are not interested in the disqualification of the board. We are interested in our accounts to be sorted out. We want our share certificates. We want to be a member, membership rights, and that's what we want. So, and in conclusion, I mentioned to the assistant registrar, I said, if at all there is, people make mistakes, okay, if they have made mistake in non-conducting the AGM, maybe because they did not know the protocol, so they made a mistake by not conducting AGM. If that was so, then okay, we can understand the issue about penalty, that okay, they have not submitted audited accounts and there's a penalty. But here, there's no mistake. There is absolute manipulation. And for that, there's only punishment. And that's the reason why we want them to be disqualified, so that we can sort out our society matters. We can put everything in order, and we can move on and live stress-free. So, well, guys, this is what it is. We are waiting now to see what's going to happen. So, but we know that we are on the right. We have all the records, so they can delay as much as they want, but we are not backing out. We are here to get things settled, and we'll definitely do that. I would like to thank everyone for watching this video. And in the upcoming episode, I'm going to discuss about what has happened regarding the membership. In fact, I have filed a case against the chairperson for denying my membership. So the case is filed with the assistant registrar, and the next hearing is again scheduled for 30th of March. So the show cause notice and my membership hearing is side by side. So one is at 3, one is at 3:30 p.m. So please stay tuned, subscribe, and press the bell icon for more notifications. Thank you very much for your time. Stay blessed, stay safe. Thank you.